This page is the front cover of Famimaga 64, dated October 1996, the November 15th issue, priced at 590 yen. The artwork features Sakura Kasugano from Street Fighter. The cover prominently features Chojiku Yosai Macross N64 Scoop, Super Dimension Fortress Macross N64 Scoop, and highlights a major feature on Street Fighter 02, known internationally as Street Fighter Alpha 2. It also mentions extensive strategy guides. The cover teases information on anticipated Super Famicom titles, including Dragon Quest II, Momotaro Dentetsu Happy, Super Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Country 3, and Dragon Knight 4. For Nintendo 64, it covers Nintendo Space World 96 and a countdown feature, along with titles like Mario Kart 64, Wonder Project J2, Jikyo J.League Perfect Striker, and J.League Dynamite Soccer 64. There's also a report on 64 developers featuring games like Chameleon Twist, Fushigi no Dungeon, Furai no Shiren, Eldale, Multi-Racing Championship, Getter Love, Battle 3000, and Dual Heroes. This page features upcoming games from Bandai. On the top half, Detective Conan, the underground amusement park murder case, working title, is previewed. Described as an adventure game, it promises a mystery that began with a single letter, featuring multiple scenarios and endings for high replayability. Screenshots show a deduction interface and character portraits, highlighting Conan's reasoning skills with the promise of solving the case and uncovering the tricks. It includes numerous minigames. The bottom half showcases Crayon Shin-chan, Aura no Gokugen Collection. This is a minigame collection designed for the year-end and New Year holidays, bringing together the top 10 popular minigames from previous Game Boy Crayon Shin-chan titles, plus new additions. The preview notes that Shin-chan's sister will also make an appearance. Screenshots display several different minigames, showing the variety offered. Both titles are priced at 3,980 yen, including tax, and are planned for a late December release. This page features a preview for the Game Boy and Super Game Boy title, Gege no Kitaro. Described as a mystery RPG, the game challenges Kitaro and his companions to investigate strange incidents caused by over 50 unique yokai. A key element is encountering all the creatures to complete a special yokai picture book. Planned for a mid-December release at 4,500 yen, the game includes battery backup and supports color display when played on a Super Game Boy. Screenshots show a battle or status screen, displaying character stats and an outdoor map area. This page serves as the table of contents for Famimaga 64 magazine, issue number 64, dated November 15, 1996. It provides a breakdown of the articles within, prominently featuring a comprehensive strategy guide for Street Fighter 02 on Super Famicom, highlighting the completed Master Room and techniques for 9 characters. Another major article is a strategy guide for Marvelous Another Treasure Island, SFC, covering the early chapters and the BS version, accompanied by a screenshot. The Simulation Game Tower Dream, SFC, is also featured, described as a Land Tycoon training course, with an accompanying screenshot of the game. The page lists a feature on Nintendo Power's USA Hotline and a strategy guide for Wave Race 64 on Nintendo 64, focusing on high-performance techniques. Other sections include a regular journal feature, reader mail, a Satellaview segment, and an RGB hardware section. A notable guide titled Super Ultra Techniques covers various game tips, including coin-related exploits in Wave Race 64 and Wizardry Gaiden IV. The page concludes with an index listing all games covered in the issue across Nintendo 64, Super Famicom, and Game Boy platforms, including titles like Super Mario 64, Super Donkey Kong 3, Star Ocean, and Dragon Quest II, directing readers to their respective pages. Famimaga 64's latest issue previews upcoming 64 titles, including Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Another Dimension, focusing on Valkyrie Mech Control. The issue details the N64DD reveal at Space World 96 and covers J-League games. A new serialization, Josette's Diary, ties into Wonder Project J2. Super Famicom coverage includes Super Donkey Kong 3, Dragon Quest IV, likely SNES, and Duke Yusei 2. The issue also discusses the future of N64 software, highlighting titles like Mario Kart 64 and others, and provides a guide to interpreting game specs. This page announces a major scoop. Tommy is entering the N64 market, and their first title is Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Another Dimension. Tentative title. This is a flight simulation game based on the original anime's world, putting you in the cockpit as a pilot for the Earth United Forces. The game features an original story centered around the anime's core theme of war and love. You'll take on various missions, utilizing the iconic Valkyrie variable fighter, which can transform between fighter, Jurwalk, and Batroid modes to adapt to different combat situations. The screenshots show intense space battles, highlighting gameplay mechanics like aiming at enemies, changing perspectives between cockpit and third-person views, and interacting with allied forces. Some of the previewed screens are from an overseas version under development, indicating ongoing refinement. Release date and price are still undecided. This page reports on the Nintendo 64 Space World 96 event, where attendees can play the latest software for N64, SFC, and Game Boy. The event, held at Makuhari Messe in Chiba Prefecture on November 23rd and 24th, offered free entry to the public. 27 manufacturers showcased their upcoming titles and held various events. The page features prominent artwork of Mario and Luigi from Mario Kart 64, highlighting that the game is playable at the event. Several upcoming titles are previewed with screenshots. For N64, you see Mario Kart 64, releasing December 14th and playable, Blast Corps, scheduled for April 97, and Star Fox 64, scheduled for March 97. Super Famicom titles include Shigesato Itoi's No. 1 Bass Fishing and Kirby's Superstar Stacker, both planned for January 97, plus Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Super Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Country 3, is also shown, releasing on November 23rd, an action game featuring new characters like Dixie Kong. Game Boy previews featured Donkey Kong Land and Game & Watch Gallery, set for November 23rd and January 97 releases respectively. The event gave gamers a chance to try out these highly anticipated games across Nintendo's platforms. This page continues the coverage of Nintendo Space World 96, detailing games from various third-party publishers. Acclaim showcased the N64's Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, emphasizing its free-roaming 3D world and dinosaur combat. ASC2 presented a diverse lineup, including mini 4WD games for SFC and Game Boy, and the N64 baseball simulation, Choukukan Niter Pro Yakyu King. Imagineer exhibited Pro Mahjong Goku Kiwami for N64. Enix displayed Wonder Project J2 for N64, a unique simulation game about raising a girl, alongside the Super Famicom remake of the classic Dragon Quest II. Epoch revealed a provisional Doraemon title for N64, featuring a polygonal 3D world. Capcom's focus was on Super Famicom, with titles like Pinocchio, Donald Duck's Maui Mallard, and the playable Street Fighter Alpha 2, highlighting its new systems. The page gives a glimpse into the range of titles coming to Nintendo platforms from other developers. N64 Space World 96 continues with third-party game reveals. Culture Brain, Coconuts, Japan Entertainment, and GameBank showcased diverse titles, including puzzle games, baseball, and Hexen, a first-person 3D action game. Koei's Mahjong 64 is still in development. Konami highlights the 3D action Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, along with sports games, soccer and baseball, utilizing the N64's capabilities, and Mahjong Master. For Game Boy, Konami shows Blade and Barrel and Snoopy Concert, while other publishers offer puzzle and RPG titles. Many games are planned for late 1996, early 1997 release. This page continues the coverage of third-party games shown at Space World 96, highlighting releases across Game Boy, Super Famicom, and N64. Compile brings the popular puzzle action of Puyo Puyo 2 to the portable world on Game Boy. Sammy offers a practical patchy slot simulation on Super Famicom, perfect for players looking to hone their skills. J-Wing enters the racing scene with Mini 4 Boy on Game Boy, allowing extensive customization and racing of Mini 4WD cars. Seta has a diverse 64 lineup. Strategy enthusiasts can look forward to a fast-paced I-Go-Go game and a shogi title featuring the N64's first communication function and guidance from a shogi master. For action and sports, Seta is showing a realistic golf game set at St. Andrews, the detailed racing simulation Rev Limit, and the 3D helicopter shooter Wild Choppers, where your actions directly impact the gameplay. Nihon System Supply has a 3D action puzzle game, Gen Chalbo 55, for N64, shown via video. Their Game Boy offerings include a game based on the popular Makibao horse racing manga, the unique platformer Chameleon Twist where the character uses its tongue for movement and attacks, and Cavalry Battle 3000. Tomy is also showcasing the Makibao Game Boy title, along with a 3D shooting game for N64, based on the classic Macross franchise. This page continues the Space World 96 coverage, highlighting games from several different publishers. Hudson Soft is showing 64 titles, including the 3D fighting game Dual Heroes with characters like Zen and Gay, along with a tentative Soccer 64 and the baseball game Power League 64, which were playable demos. Bandai is focusing on the Game Boy with games based on popular anime. Crayon Shin-chan Ora no Gokigen collection featuring 14 minigames, Gege no Kitaro where you can befriend Yukai to battle, and Detective Conan, an adventure game unfolding from a single invitation. Banpresto showcased games for both SFC and N64. Their SFC lineup includes the popular relationship Simdokusei 2 and the tactical RPG Dragon Knight 4. These series are noted for their popularity. Video System presented 64 titles via video, including tentative 3D shooting and mahjong games, emphasizing the inclusion of action sequences in the shooter. Victor Interactive Software and Bottom Up are sharing space. Victor is bringing the Tom Cruise movie Mission Impossible to N64 as a 3D spy action game developed in the US. Bottom Up is showing 64 Die Sumo, N64's first sumo wrestling game with polygon wrestlers, and Sugoroku Legend of Galactic Heroes for the SFC, a board game adaptation of the anime. Both 64 Die Sumo and Sugoroku were playable at the booth. Finally, Human had a tentative N64 title, Human Grand Prix, although specifics and whether it would be playable depended on its development status. The next page features J.League Dynamite Soccer 64 for the N64, developed by Imaginia and Amax, scheduled for release in February 1997 for 9,980 yen. The article highlights the game's use of the N64's 3D stick for precise player control, emphasizing subtle movements and feints despite the polygon models appearing small on screen. Players can execute various actions like shoots and tackles, with the level of control adjusted by the stick's depth. The game renders a wide field with polygon players, and future updates are planned to add individual appearances based on real player data. Screenshots show the gameplay view with a minimap, a pre-match screen featuring team mascots Jubilo and Pulse, and text emphasizing dribbling and shooting. The game supports up to 4 players simultaneously and is controller pack compatible. This page continues the detailed preview of J.League Dynamite Soccer 64. It highlights various game features, including the constant display of the score, time, and injury time, along with a real-time formation map to help players track positions and potential passes. The game allows for a unique cooperative mode where 2 players can control a single club. There are 16 selectable J.League clubs and several gameplay modes available, including League, Cup, Exhibition, All-Star, and PK Shootout. A robust replay function lets players re-watch specific moments, like fouls and spectacular goals, such as overhead kicks, from different camera angles. The article also mentions that player trading might be a feature. Screenshots showcase the in-game display with the map, the team selection screen, a foul scene, and a goal celebration for an overhead kick. This page provides a detailed look at the N64 title, Wonder Project J2, Koro the Forest Girl, announcing that the game is now 100% complete and slated for release in Japan on November 22 for 9,800 yen. The article delves into the game's structure, which unfolds across 2 parts, with the first part heavily emphasizing communication and raising the main character, Koro. The preview highlights how player interaction directly impacts Koro's growth, influencing her mood and actions. It notes that the story undergoes significant changes as players progress into the second part. Unlike the previous game, Wonder Project J2 features a single, set ending pattern. The game tracks Koro's development through an in-game achievements memo, logging various accomplishments like learning to greet people or cook. New locations are revealed, including the island of Aokishima, Blue Land, and the industrial Mega Float Noir. The reviewer expresses excitement about the game's completion and hints at new events discovered through details from Koro's in-game diary. Screenshots showcase Koro's expressions, an in-game scene with her and a robot companion, and illustrations of locations like a mysterious island and the Mega Float Noir structure. This page dives into the interior of the Dolphin Go, the versatile boat that serves as Koro's home and base of operations in Wonder Project J2. The article fully reveals the ship's layout, breaking it down into 3 distinct floors. The first floor is the living floor, equipped with essentials for daily life, including a sink, stove, washing machine, and shower room, showing where Koro handles domestic chores. The second floor is the rest floor, featuring a comfy sofa. This is a crucial area where Koro can recover energy, and it's noted as the only place in the game to save your progress. You can also charge Koro's MP here for 50 Koro. The third floor is the shopping floor. Players can access a shop via a television screen to purchase items. This floor also houses the boat's cockpit, engine panel, and the ladder used to exit the vessel, making it a key hub. Screenshots across the page illustrate Koro interacting with these environments, showing the shop interface and the save/rest screen. A final illustration of Koro emphasizes the importance of cleanliness, connecting back to the One Fee facilities. This page highlights key events from the game Wonder Project J2, presented through entries from Josette's diary. It covers the Sea God Festival event, a major celebration where Josette is invited by Arnold. The diary entries detail her thoughts leading up to the festival, including her nervousness and interactions with characters like Pearlson. Screenshots show Josette and Arnold together at the festival grounds and by the water at night. A significant part of the coverage is the Miss Contest held during the festival, with images showing Josette on stage performing or participating, the large audience watching, and even a shot of Pearl San, who is described as very popular. Josette's diary reflects on her experience, mentioning feeling flustered, but ultimately enjoying the event and the opportunity to interact with the islanders. The page gives a personal glimpse into Josette's journey and experiences during this memorable festival in the game. This page continues our look at Wonder Project J2 through the eyes of Josette and her diary entries. We find Josette dealing with Katse, a cat known for stealing fish, including from the character Fishmakwa-san. Josette attempts to punish Katse, but Sapphire intervenes, calling it bullying the weak, which makes Josette reflect. Later, Josette decides to apologize to Katse and discovers the cat is a mother raising many kittens, explaining the need for food. They make up, and Josette learns that Katse is actually a friend of Sapphire's. The page also reveals that Sapphire wants to leave the island and is seeking the bird's wings to do so. The latter part of the page shifts focus to the mysterious Siliconian Empire. Previously only glimpsed in the game's opening, this page provides illustrations of the Empire's interior for the first time. The images show a location high up within a building, looking out over the landscape, with what appear to be control panels, leading to speculation about its significance within the game's story. Screenshots throughout the page showcase character interactions, expressions, and the game's environments, including the detailed futuristic architecture of the Siliconian Empire. This page dives into Konami's J.League Live Perfect Striker on the N64. The editorial team got their hands on a sample room and provides a verification report detailing newly revealed features, including player techniques and a scenario mode. They explore how to execute various techniques, the effects of the new scenario mode, and how weather and player condition changes impact gameplay. The game is confirmed for the N64, supports up to 4 players, requires a controller pack, and is priced at 9,800 yen, with a planned release date of December 20th. The page provides a detailed breakdown of the N64 controller's functions in the game. The 3D stick is used for moving players, while the A button is for passing, and the B button handles shooting. The L and Z trigger buttons are utilized for changing strategy, and the R trigger button switches the controlled player. A key aspect highlighted is the ELIC button unit, which is the key to performing numerous techniques. The page emphasizes that mastering complex techniques requires utilizing all the controller's buttons in combination. This page delves into the advanced techniques you can perform in Konami's J.League Live Perfect Striker. Building on the basic controls, it highlights how crucial the N64's C buttons are for pulling off special moves on the field. You'll find explanations and screenshots for various offensive and defensive actions. Mastering the SIC buttons unlocks powerful plays like the through pass, threading the ball precisely through defenders, or the quick turn while dashing, leaving opponents in your dust. You can also perform skills like the lift, flicking the ball up with flair while standing still. On the defensive side, the page details how to apply pressure using just the SEC button when close to an opponent. More aggressive options include the shoulder charge, using your body to disrupt an opponent's balance, and the simple charge tackle with the A button. The 1-2 pass is also shown, allowing quick give and gagos with teammates. These techniques, combined with directional inputs, are key to dominating both ends of the pitch and going beyond basic passes and shots.
This page continues the focus on Konami's J.League Live Perfect Striker, highlighting the dynamic elements that affect gameplay. It explains how each club has distinct characteristics and formations, and how player condition changes with every match, impacting their movement and performance on the field. The environment also plays a role, with weather conditions like rain and snow altering the ground surface. The atmosphere is also mentioned, with big cheers from supporters adding to the immersion. A major feature detailed is the 16 Scenarios mode, where players can relive famous moments from the 1996 J-League season. These scenarios put you in specific match situations for various clubs, like needing a comeback win or holding on to a narrow lead, with difficulty levels ranging up to 6 stars. Teams featured include Gamba Osaka, Cerezo Osaka, Shimizu Spulse, Jubilo Iwata, and many others from the 96 season. This page delves into the extensive customization options available in J.League Live Perfect Striker. It highlights the ability to create a truly original team through a player trading system, allowing you to acquire high-ability players, strengthen weak spots, and even bring back famous or Olympic players to your club, effectively creating a dream team. Beyond just creating a team, the game allows you to participate in your own custom league or tournament with this unique club. You can compete for victory, dominate the league, and even aim for individual honors like the Top Scorer Award, exemplified by Kazumiura being shown as a top scorer candidate. A significant feature is the ability to create original players from scratch. You can input names, allocate points to various stats like shooting, speed, defense, and more, customizing them to your liking. This lets you build a team featuring players designed exactly how you want them, adding a deeply personal touch to the gameplay experience. This page dives into the upcoming Super Famicom release of Dragon Quest II, focusing on a brand new feature making its debut in the series, the Shuguroku Place, or dice game board. The page showcases screenshots of this board game-like facility, where players move across squares, encountering various events. Beyond the new dice game board, the article highlights the return of fan-favorite entertainment spots from previous titles, like the casino and the monster arena. The monster arena allows players to place bets on battles between different monsters, with the odds shifting based on the combatants. It's noted that players might even encounter monsters here that aren't typically found in the main adventure. The page emphasizes how these facilities add to the charm and replayability of the Super Famicom version. This page delves into the specifics of the Sugoroku Place, or dice game board, introduced in Dragon Quest II for the Super Famicom. Found in various locations across the world, each Sugoroku board has a unique shape and different goal rewards. To participate, players need a Sugoroku ticket for each attempt. The game involves rolling dice to move across the board, landing on squares that trigger different events like finding items, battling monsters, or other unpredictable outcomes. The page highlights that reaching the goal requires landing on the exact square. Failing to do so means you might overshoot and miss the goal. There's also a risk involved. Losing all your gold or losing a battle on the board results in a game over for the Sugoroku session, sending you back to the start without the rewards. The game emphasizes that players must take care when playing. Screenshots show the board layout, character interactions within the game, a battle scene against monsters encountered on a square, and messages indicating success at reaching the goal or failure from running out of money. Artwork of both the male and female heroes from the game is also displayed. This page continues exploring the Sugoroku Place from Dragon Quest I and II, detailing specific squares players will encounter. Landing on the mark square triggers an event that alters one of your character's abilities. Roll the dice to see if your stats go up or down. It's a tense moment. Mark square is a gamble. Unpredictable events occur here, which might be beneficial, like boosting an ability, or less so. Always expect the unexpected on these chance squares. Be warned about grassland, forest, and mountain squares, as these frequently lead to monster encounters. Battles here can involve multiple foes, so stay ready to fight. The slime mark square is especially dangerous. While you might find gold or items by searching, landing here can lead to encounters with powerful monsters. Make sure you're prepared for a tough fight. The page features artwork of the male and female thief and warrior party members. This page continues the guide to the Sugoroku Place board game in Dragon Quest II. It highlights different types of squares you'll encounter. Landing on a shop square lets you buy or sell items, just like in town shops. The inn square is crucial for recovering your HP and MP, essential after battles. Beyond the standard spaces, special event squares can bring surprises. One might cause you to lose gold, while another could be lucky, granting you extra dice rolls, which is always welcome, as dice rolls are limited. The maps aren't always straightforward. There are branching paths. You'll need to look ahead at the squares on each route and think carefully about which way to go to reach the goal safely and efficiently. Be extremely cautious of pitfall squares. Falling into one can sometimes lead to a game over, so it's best to choose routes with fewer holes. The page features artwork of the male and female mage and priest characters. This page previews Super Donkey Kong 3, known internationally as Donkey Kong Country 3. It introduces the game's setting, the mysterious Creamus Island, and highlights the new playable characters, Dixie Kong and the baby Kitty Kong, called Dinky Kong in Japan. Dixie is noted for using her ponytail as a weapon while searching for Diddy, and Kitty is described as an innocent baby who uses his large size and strength, identifiable by his baby clothes and pacifier. The article emphasizes how players must utilize their combined abilities to overcome obstacles. Screenshots show gameplay and underscore that the graphics have been further polished. The feature promises details on Kitty Kong's special moves and new animal friends in this action game for the Super Famicom, which supports save data with battery backup. This page delves deeper into the abilities of Dixie and Kitty Kong in Donkey Kong Country 3. It highlights the rolling jump, Kitty Kong's unique water-skipping jump, which lets him bounce across water surfaces by timing a button press upon landing. Dixie Kong's familiar ponytail spin from Donkey Kong Country 2 is confirmed to return, useful for attacking enemies and floating. The page also details the enhanced Team UP move, allowing the Kongs to throw each other to break objects or access new areas. Kitty Kong's ground pound is showcased as a way to break through weak floors, while Dixie can ride on Kitty and throw him, adding versatility to their combined moveset. Screenshots demonstrate these techniques in action within the game world. This page focuses on the indispensable animal friends who aid the Kongs in their adventure. Introducing two new companions, Ellie the elephant, who can suck up and shoot water as a powerful attack, perfect for hitting distant enemies, and Perry the bird, a small, agile helper who flies alongside the Kongs and can retrieve items out of reach. Returning from previous adventures are in guarding the swordfish, essential for underwater exploration and combat, Squawks the parrot, useful for flight and sometimes carrying objects, and Squidder the spider, who can create webs for attacking or making platforms. The page features character art and various screenshots demonstrating the unique skills of each animal friend, highlighting how they provide diverse ways to navigate environments and overcome obstacles, complementing the abilities of Kitty and Dixie Kong discussed previously. This page dives into the challenging Kremling crew enemies featured in Donkey Kong Country 3. It highlights that the game introduces many new types of foes alongside returning ones, and their signature tricky and sometimes annoying attacks are very much present. Several specific enemies are showcased, including Copter, a Kremling flying with a propeller, the muscular critter variation known here as Crumple, Bazzing the bee with its dangerous sawtail, Minky who is shot from cannons, Recoil the bouncing alligator, Croc who guards DK coins, and Crimp who traverse ropes. The page then introduces two boss monsters encountered early in the game, Bleak, the large barrel monster from Area 1, and a Critch, the giant spider boss from Area 2, teasing players to figure out their weak points and strategies. The content emphasizes that these initial enemies and bosses offer a taste of the tough battles awaiting players in the adventure. This page dives into the setup for Donkey Kong Country 3. It highlights that Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are missing, forcing Dixie Kong to embark on a rescue mission joined by the young Kitty Kong, referred to as Dinky. Their search leads them to the enigmatic Kremlis Island, a dangerous place controlled by the Kremling leader, Chaos, and his military force. The page introduces the initial areas of the game, showcasing areas 1 through 3. Area 1 is Orangutanга Lake, the starting point characterized by peaceful lake scenery, and even some snowy areas where Kitty Kong's beloved bananas appear surprisingly.
Area 2, Cremwood Forest, is a dense woodland where players must master swinging on ropes with precise timing to progress and tackle intense time attack challenges. Area 3, Cotton Top Cove, features aquatic stages including levels that flow down waterfalls, with a tease that secrets might be hidden behind them. The screenshots provide a visual tour of these diverse early environments.
Donkey Kong Country 3 continues its world exploration, detailing later areas and new travel methods. Area 4, Mikano's Factory Island, is a challenging industrial zone with intense platforming. Area 5, Yukiya Make 3, presents treacherous icy stages requiring careful navigation. Area 6, Kamitsuke Ikoku, features a valley with tricky stages and verbal puzzles. Funky Kong introduces a new transportation system, beginning with boats, and eventually the more powerful hovercraft, greatly expanding exploration possibilities. This page features Dragon Knight 4 for the Super Famicom. It's highlighted as a simulation RPG that makes use of visual scenes to help players easily grasp the story's progression. The game is structured around two distinct modes: a quest mode for exploring towns, gathering information by talking to people, and advancing the narrative, and a simulation mode focused on tactical battles on a hexagonal grid map. Character data is accessible in both modes, offering flexibility. The story begins with the protagonist, Kakeru, receiving a letter from his father, setting him off on a journey towards the town of Sonia. Screenshots showcase the top-down view of the quest mode, a tactical battle map from the simulation mode, character portraits with stats, and dramatic visual cutscenes that illustrate key story points and character interactions. The game was released in December for 7,980 yen and supports mouse control. This page focuses on the characters who join Kakeru on his adventure in Dragon Knight 4, highlighting the new characters added specifically for the Super Famicom version. As Kakeru travels, he meets various people, and many of them become his companions, lending their strength. The page introduces 3 original characters for the SFC version: Wendy, Lydia, and Hardis. The returning characters featured are Sale, described as a cheerful and easygoing optimist who enjoys pranks and grew up freely; Marlene, a skilled archer and elf who was injured and rescued by Kakeru and his party; and EHT, a magic user and childhood friend of Kakeru, described as mysterious but surprisingly reliable, who likes women but hides his face when talking to them. The SFC original characters are then introduced. Wendy is a wizard who uses wind magic and yearns to fight alongside Kakeru, preferring strong and beautiful older women. Lydia is a divine spirit whose soul was destroyed, depicted as being eerie and mysterious. Hardis is subordinate to Lucifer, the captain of the Dragon Knight Squadron, and harbors feelings for Mono, Lucifer's lover. Images of each character are displayed alongside their descriptions, including larger portraits for the SFC original characters, and smaller images for the returning characters and Hardis's boss, Lucifer. The page emphasizes that the SFC version introduces characters not seen in the PC version. This page explores the systems and events of Dragon Knight 4 on the Super Famicom. It introduces the quest mode, where you'll talk to townspeople in locations like Euresis, Michelle's Town, and Trianon Village, to gather vital information and recruit new party members. The game includes helpful features like a notebook to record important details, and the ability to save your progress by speaking with the aspiring novelist, Lloyd Carrison. You can reinforce your fighting force at Tolhi's training ground, where a convenient system displays unit data. The page also showcases the game's engaging event scenes with various characters, such as the temperamental Lanus or the charming Marlene, often presenting players with choices that impact the story and deepen companion relationships. This page delves into the simulation battle mode of Dragon Knight 4. It explains that battles unfold turn by turn on a hex grid, where players strategically position their units and engage the enemy. Winning often involves defeating all enemies, or reaching a specific objective within a set number of turns. The core mechanic is exploiting unit characteristics for advantageous matchups, as units possess distinct attack ranges, movement capabilities, and defensive strengths. Examples illustrate this point. A standard sword unit, effective only on ground, is shown as advantageous against other ground units, but disadvantaged against flying dragon knights who are difficult to hit. Similarly, magic units with low defense are vulnerable to attacks. The page introduces several unit types belonging to the Dragon Knight army, available to the protagonist, Kakeru. These include the standard sword unit, ground-based fighter unit,
the Ranged Magic Unit, with Natasha among its members, the Bow Unit, including Marlene's elf clan, the Cavalry Unit, featuring Kakeru's companions Charon and Bianca, the Powerful but Slow Cannon Unit, joined by Rosalind, the Elusive Ninja Unit, trainable at Tolhace, and the highly mobile Dragon Knight Unit, including the new character Hardy, which is uniquely capable of aerial attacks. The variety of units requires players to adapt their strategy to different combat situations. This page shifts gears dramatically from strategic combat to the world of romance, with a look at the upcoming bittersweet love adventure game, Dokusei 2. This sequel focuses on the protagonist's final high school winter break, and the goal is to build relationships with the various girls introduced. Gameplay revolves around managing time, and choosing where to go and who to interact with. Moving between locations like the town or different spots within the school, classroom, rooftop, library, consumes time and can lead to meeting girls and initiating conversations. The game uses a visual novel style for interactions, presenting character art and dialogue choices. Your decisions in these conversations directly influence how the story unfolds and your relationship progresses. Time is a critical resource. Actions in certain locations, like inside the protagonist's house, specifically advance the clock by 15 minutes. The game also includes a money system, starting with 5,000 yen, which can be spent on things like transportation. Running out of funds means you might have to walk instead. The demo, or prologue period, covers a few days in December, setting the stage for the main game, which seems to kick off towards the end of the month. It's all about careful planning to meet the right girls and make the most of your limited time. This page details several female characters from Dokusei 2's winter break setting. Players encounter girls from various classes and the town, including some in unexpected circumstances. Profiles highlight Yui, the protagonist's close friend with strong feelings; Izumi, a friendly tomboy; Tomomi, a reliable but emotional classmate; Kaori, a super idol with a secret past; Minori, a quiet and cute girl; Yoko, a biker with a strong moral compass; Mika, a unique bus guide; Kozue, an underclassman with rumors surrounding her; Sakurako, a frail girl dreaming of high school; Megumi, a nursery school teacher with a past; and Maya, an original character popular for her illustration. This page introduces the game Momotaro Dentetsu Happy for the Super Famicom, which is scheduled for release on December 6th for 8,300 yen. The main highlight is the extensive 99-year mode, promising a lengthy journey that could take around 34 hours to complete, suggesting players take breaks. A major reveal is that creator Akira Sakuma appears after the game ends in the 99-year mode, offering unique insights and data. The page also features a mini-guide commentary from Sakuma for various stations across Japan, based on his personal travel experiences and research, rather than in-game properties. Screenshots show gameplay, including city maps like Takamatsu, Sendai, Morioka, Sapporo, Okayama, and Tokyo, each with a dialogue box featuring these personal comments about local food or points of interest. This adds a personal touch from the developer to the game world. This page highlights exciting new features and events in Momotaro Dentetsu Happy. Players can now experience a unique event where a wealthy appraiser might appear to buy your artwork for a significant profit. Another profitable addition is the discovery of oil fields, providing a guaranteed source of substantial yearly income. The game also introduces thrilling, gamble-like events with unpredictable outcomes, and a new horse racing element where players can win large prize money by having their production company's horse win races. Furthermore, several new and updated cards are featured, including the Fundoshi card, which lets you steal from others, the Quiz card designed to hinder opponents, the flexible new Nap card, the whimsical card that can stop a player for months, and the new Bakamon card, which targets another player to halt their movement. The destination for the Fudobi card will now also change randomly each month. This page features a major announcement for Bushi Seryuden, a new action RPG developed by Game Freak, the creators of Pokémon, and published by T&E Soft for the Super Famicom. Set within a world inspired by Japanese mythology, the game emphasizes strategic battles that blend action with puzzle-like elements, allowing players to overcome challenges by thinking rather than relying purely on reflexes. The central goal involves destroying magic crystal pillars that spawn monsters by collecting special magatama earned through combat. Players explore the world using an overhead map where enemies are visible, allowing for strategic engagement or avoidance. Key story moments are presented through dedicated visual scenes. The page includes a prominent illustration of the game's main characters and various screenshots depicting the overhead exploration, a battle, a visual scene, and one of the large monster spawning pillars. It highlights the game's powerful graphics and battle system. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Bushi Seryuden, continuing the introduction from the previous page. It elaborates on the battle system, explaining that whoever initiates contact on the field gets the first turn. Combat involves a target action count, and defeating enemies within this limit is key to earning valuable magatama. The page highlights that skillful play leads to more magatama, but challenging fights might exceed the target count. A strategic element is introduced with a character ability that changes the graphics and allows viewing the entire battle screen, aiding in checking enemy positions and terrain. Furthermore, the page showcases the support character Raku, who gains abilities by immersing in colored springs found throughout the world. Raku's abilities include aiding the main character's movement to higher ground and enabling ranged attacks, emphasizing the importance of teamwork and strategic positioning in the game's unique battles. This page details the progression of the story in Bushi Seryuden, presented as unfolding across different chapters and locations. Chapter 1 begins in the protagonist's peaceful island home, introducing his sister Nami, who serves as his emotional support, and covers the initial training in swordsmanship and the game's battle system. The main adventure kicks off dramatically when Nami is kidnapped by a giant monstrous bird, forcing the hero to leave his home. During this early journey you also meet Raku, a girl cursed into a monster form, who joins your party after being saved. Chapter 2 and beyond shift the setting to new lands, following the path of the monstrous bird to the northern islands. These areas feature challenging new terrain, including snowy landscapes and platforming elements like jump points and obstructive stumps that require specific items like the Kusanagi sword to clear. The page also shows boss battles against creatures like a giant mushroom monster, and highlights how the battle system adapts to the environment, including horizontal scrolling battles in the snowy areas. A mysterious figure is glimpsed in visual scenes, speculated to be a cursed god of the sea, hinting at the larger, potentially divine conflict that the story will build towards as the hero seeks to rescue his sister. This page is all about mastering the waves in Wave Race 64 and achieving high scores and fast times. It announces the results of the first time and score attack competition, highlighting the winner, Mamada-kun, who achieved an impressive 26,912 points on the Dolphin Park course. The page provides a detailed step-by-step breakdown of his winning run, emphasizing the specific sequence of maneuvers like loops, handstands, and somersaults used between checkpoints. It discusses the importance of utilizing high-performance techniques to improve your score and time, noting that the difference in skill between novices and expert players is clearly visible in their execution. The page also presents the top rankings for both the Dolphin Park Grand Prix, focused on score, and the Sunset Bay Grand Prix, focused on time, showcasing the best performers in each category. A helpful tip is included, demonstrating the importance of carefully taking the inside line on turns. This page continues the focus on mastering Wave Race 64, specifically detailing strategies for the third time attack challenge on the Castle City course. The article emphasizes the importance of expertly navigating numerous obstacles to achieve a fast time. Key techniques highlighted include dealing with jump ramps, aiming for the elusive submarine shortcut, and executing spectacular shortcuts. The guide breaks down strategies by lap, suggesting aiming for the submarine shortcut on the first lap, while focusing on jumps on the second and third laps. It also provides detailed tips for clearing the route buoys and managing the challenging wave sections, particularly around the buoys, where waves can significantly disrupt your machine's movement. Screenshots illustrate these maneuvers, showing the player executing jumps, navigating the waves, and utilizing shortcuts. A clear map of the Castle City course is included, along with a legend explaining the icons for the start/goal, jump ramps, route buoys, and mines. The Nintendo reference time of 1 minute 29.305 seconds is provided as a benchmark for players. The article suggests players should aim to avoid obstacles sharply and use the detailed strategies, including specific controller inputs, like holding down the B button to suppress waves, to shave precious seconds off their time and beat the reference time. This page continues the Advanced Techniques Guide for Wave Race 64, shifting focus from time attack to score attack on the demanding Castle City course. Achieving a high score hinges on selecting the optimal route and flawlessly executing various techniques. The guide presents two main paths, a far route and a near route, noting that utilizing the jump ramps is common to both. Mastering jumps is key to racking up points. The guide advises finding the best rhythm for each jump and skillfully clearing rings mid-air. It also details a critical high-score maneuver involving transitioning from a loop to a submarine posture while airborne to gain bonus points. This requires precise timing and control, especially when changing machine posture in the air. The map clearly illustrates the course layout, including all rings, jumps, checkpoints, and even the hazardous mines. The Nintendo reference score of 17,516 points serves as the benchmark to aim for. The article stresses that consistent execution of these advanced techniques, particularly the Loopto submarine move, is essential for breaking high-score records on this technical course. This page continues the guide to mastering Wave Race 64's score attack mode by showcasing several advanced techniques discovered by both the magazine's editorial staff and dedicated players. It encourages players to share their own high-tech moves. The guide details how to execute a double loop, a fundamental acrobatics move for high points, by explaining the precise 3D stick input needed during the jump. It then introduces player-discovered techniques, including the half and half, a maneuver from Nagata that involves a twist followed by a directional change mid-air for potentially double points upon a successful landing, illustrated with screenshots showing increasing scores. Another player from Tokyo contributed the submarine jump, a technique performed underwater where rapidly moving the 3D stick causes the machine to leap out of the water, allowing for tricks upon surfacing. Finally, a strategy called the checkpoint utilization method is presented, where a player from Chiba found a way to perform a high point trick on a jump ramp near a checkpoint, then potentially U-turn and jump again, maximizing points around the checkpoint area. The page also announces the third Wave Race 64 High Performance Technique Contest, inviting players to submit their best moves for a chance to win prizes like a controller pack or Mario Kart 64 software. Entrants needed to record their technique on a VHS tape and mail it in by the November 8th deadline. This page provides a guide to mastering the Super Famicom Game Tower Dream, titled, Today, From Today, You Too Can Become Rich. Land Acquisition and Wealth Building Course. It highlights the game's unique blend of board game and simulation elements, focusing on building towers, increasing company assets, and acquiring land. The guide emphasizes that while the rules might seem complex initially, they become clear after a few playthroughs. Understanding the core system, particularly company management, is crucial. A key strategic element discussed is the absorption and merger system, which allows players to take over other companies. This process is detailed with screenshots showing the interface for choosing which company to merge or absorb. The page states that acquiring land is ultimately the strongest path to victory, although exceptions exist. It also notes that earning points by building towers can be part of a winning strategy, especially for obtaining game-ending bonuses. Finally, it briefly touches on the absorption process, explaining that the outcome depends on the number of owned squares and the company's levels. The game is listed as a board game for SFC, 16 meters, supporting up to 4 players simultaneously, with backup save and turbo file twin support. It was released by ASC2 for 8,000 yen. This page delves deeper into the strategy of Tower Dream, focusing on the theory behind company management. It emphasizes that while dice luck is a significant factor, relying solely on it is not enough. Skilled play is essential. Early on, securing key locations, described as being like the game of Go, is crucial. Building companies quickly and strategically located near landmarks, even those initially owned by rivals, is highlighted as a smart move, because owning a company allows you to earn income and potentially merge. The guide details how company dominance points are calculated, with floors and landmarks generally giving 1 point each, but specific landmarks awarding 3, and even money in hand contributing 1 point for the company owner. However, it stresses that being the leading shareholder, top, is more important than simply owning the company, especially when it comes to the massive game-ending bonuses, which are awarded only to the top 2 players, and are the largest source of income. Mergers also provide dividends based on owned floors, enabling aggressive takeover strategies where money is everything. This page continues the strategic guide for Tower Dream, focusing on the crucial mechanic of company mergers. It explains that the simplest mergers occur when you are the dominant shareholder, top, in both companies involved. However, the guide emphasizes that merging companies where you are not the top shareholder is possible, but requires careful timing and favorable conditions, often leading to powerful rival companies being formed. Merging companies results in dividends based on the combined number of floors owned. The page also provides advice on navigating game stalemates, suggesting strategies like focusing on securing M-level landmarks. It introduces the concept of wupofication, where a company becomes a massive Wuppo company upon reaching level 13. While becoming Wuppo is key to endgame dominance and large bonuses, the guide warns players to think carefully before rushing into this stage, as Wuppo companies have specific rules regarding further mergers. Success in Tower Dream requires understanding these merger dynamics and shareholder statuses alongside luck with the dice. This page delves into the strategic importance of pinch cards in Tower Dream, the mechanic introduced is capable of completely reversing the flow of the game. These cards are categorized into 4 distinct types: IKA squid, taco octopus, kani crab, and wani alligator cards. The page features a large table detailing the name and effect of numerous cards within each category. Generally, IKA cards tend to focus on properties like land and buildings, offering ways to improve your assets. Taco cards are often related to immediate financial gains, providing cash on the spot. Kani cards are described as unlucky cards and are primarily used to obstruct or negatively impact opponents. Wani cards, on the other hand, are mostly concerned with movement, allowing players to warp to different locations on the board. Commentary on the page suggests that while Wani cards offer convenient movement options, they are less impactful than IKA or Taco cards. Taco cards are highlighted for providing immediate cash, while IKA cards are good for building assets. The Kani cards are explicitly called out as being designed to mess with others, fitting their description as unlucky. The overall message is that these cards are key to the game's unpredictability and can lead to dramatic turnarounds, emphasizing the need for players to be prepared for their effects, especially the negative ones. The page includes screenshots showing examples of the cards and the game interface. This page features striking artwork of Guy from the Street Fighter series, promoting the game Street Fighter 02. The main text highlights information obtained from the Master Room, detailing the game's system mechanics and providing basic strategies for 9 characters. There's commentary praising Capcom's technical prowess in porting the game from the arcade to the Super Famicom, known internationally as Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Overcoming hardware limitations. The page offers a detailed explanation of the game's system, reflecting on the completed port. It also lists the game's release date in Japan as December 20th, the price of 7,800 yen, the platform SFC, the genre as fighting action with 32 MB its, and mentions it supports 2 players simultaneously. This page focuses on giving players an edge by explaining the game's core mechanics and character strategies. This page continues the coverage of Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Famicom, assessing the quality of the port. The main header declares the SFC version's porting degree is high, questioning if it will create a legend. The review notes a slight time lag at the start of matches, but says it becomes unnoticeable during gameplay. The opening demo's fidelity is praised, indicating the port is competitive with other platforms. Further sections detail game features. One highlights the possibility of changing button configurations even during gameplay by pressing the start button while paused. Another section confirms that button configuration can also be changed from the option mode accessible from the title screen, allowing detailed customization. It's noted that button settings affect character color selection. The original button config is used to pick character colors, with 6 colors available. The original combo system is also discussed, stating that the version shown at Tokyo Game Show 96, where they were still a work in progress, has been almost perfectly implemented in this port, with opponents reacting as expected when hit by one. The Super Combo finish artwork is shown, highlighting the visual polish. This page continues the review of Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Famicom, focusing on the stages and their port quality. The article highlights that the backgrounds have been reproduced almost faithfully from the arcade version. It discusses the inclusion of special stages, like Sagat's Savannah/Great Plains stage, and notes that the movement and details in Rolento's stage, like the lowering billboard and disappearing people, are present, but some subtle aspects might be missing or changed, which the reviewer finds slightly regrettable. Screenshots show characters fighting on Dhalsim's stage, where his wife Sally is visible, and Sakura's stage, where she's seen playing a TV game in the background. There is also mention of Dan's distinct taunts and victory lines. The article acknowledges that some compromises or arrangements were necessary for the SFC port due to hardware limitations, leading to some elements from the arcade not being fully replicated, prompting a question about the overall feeling of the port compared to the original. This page dives deep into the core combat mechanics of Street Fighter Alpha 2,
specifically focusing on the versatile super combo gauge and its various applications in versus matches. The article explains that this gauge is central to the gameplay, capable of reaching up to level 3, and details how players can build it up. Methods include taking damage, even while guarding, using normal attacks, with stronger attacks filling it faster, and utilizing special or super combo moves, where more powerful techniques yield greater gauge gain, as shown in screenshots featuring characters like Dan, Sagat, and Chun-Li. The page then breaks down the 3 primary uses of the built-up gauge. Firstly, super combos are powerful, enhanced versions of special moves, costing 1, 2, or 3 levels depending on the move's strength, illustrated with Rolento. Secondly, the zero counter is a defensive technique allowing players to counter an opponent's attack while guarding, costing 1 gauge level. A screenshot of Nash demonstrates this, with a note about character variations in counter moves, like Vega per meter, Bison and Rolento. Finally, the original combo allows players to activate a timed mode for executing special, rapid consecutive attacks, displayed with Chun-Li and Ken. Screenshots with Rose countering Ryu's Fireball and Ken performing his Shinri Uken highlight the original combo's potential for both defensive invincibility and offensive combo extensions. This page continues the dive into Street Fighter Alpha 2's systems, introducing the Auto mode. This mode simplifies gameplay significantly, especially for beginners. By automatically choosing the correct guard direction, standing or crouching, against incoming attacks, this makes defense much easier, letting players focus on offense. The mode also makes executing super combos incredibly simple, often requiring just pressing a button. However, using the auto mode comes with drawbacks. Super combos are limited to level 1, and the super combo gauge builds slower than in normal play. Also, zero counters consume the entire gauge instead of just 1 level. The page also features simple command move lists for many characters including Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Dhalsim, Zangief, Nash, Rolento, Vega, Sagat, Sakura, Evil Ryu, and Akuma. These tables show simplified button inputs, labeled A, B, C, that execute special or super combo moves with ease, like Zangief's Final Atomic Buster, which can be done with a simple button press in this mode, perfect for newcomers. This page delves into advanced offensive strategies in Street Fighter Alpha 2, emphasizing that attack is the greatest defense. It highlights opportunities to land devastating continuous attacks, and how to skillfully handle the opponent. Key tactics discussed include pressuring the opponent as they wake up from a knockdown, as seen with Akaradon fighting Zangief, and mixing up high and low attacks, like jump kicks and foot sweeps, to confuse their guard direction, shown with Nash battling Akuma. The guide also advises using throws against opponents who block excessively, demonstrating Zangief throwing Ken. For landing decisive continuous attacks, it suggests getting behind the opponent to bypass their guard, illustrated by Ryu attacking Ken from the rear. This page provides practical combat advice for players looking to improve their offense and break through tough defenses. This page shifts focus from offense to defense in Street Fighter Alpha 2, explaining how to appropriately respond to opponent attacks and transition into a counterattack. It provides essential survival tips, like mashing buttons when thrown to reduce damage, demonstrated with Sagat and Sodom. The page also covers how to handle wake-up pressure, suggesting the use of invincible special moves, like Ryu's Shoryuken, or executing a timely zero counter to escape and punish, shown with Dan and Zangief. It details the different types of knockdown recovery available by inputting the down escape command with different strength punches, illustrating how weak, medium, and strong punch inputs result in distinct recovery animations like quickstands or rolls, each with unique properties and strategic uses, using Ryu and Ken as examples. This page introduces the character Sakura in Street Fighter Alpha 2, highlighting that even though she's the youngest fighter, her techniques are potent. The core strategy emphasized is leveraging her strong basic moves and convenient special moves like Haru Ichiban and Shinku Hadoken to stay safe even when attacks are blocked. The page details the utility of her basic moves, explaining that her strong kick, both standing and crouching, has notably less recovery than other characters, making it versatile for pressure and poking. It also points out that her crouching strong punch is an effective anti-air tool, recommending canceling normal attacks into Shoryuken for confirms, and using Hadoken at close range with button mashing for increased power. Focus then shifts to combos, particularly highlighting a powerful original combo strategy. This demanding combo often starts from crouching weak kick, followed by standing weak kick,
requiring precise timing to chain together alternating Shoryuken and Shunpukyaku hits. The content stresses that while seemingly simple, mastering the timing is crucial for success, asserting that original combos are her most efficient damage output method, with super combos also being highly effective. This page focuses on the basic strategy for Ryu in Street Fighter Alpha 2. It highlights his reputation as a top-tier character with an excellent balance of offense and defense, noting his accessibility and ease of use across the series, particularly his ability to cancel into special moves easily. The core strategy revolves around effectively using his special moves. The Hadoken is emphasized as crucial for zoning and keeping opponents at bay, while the Shoryuken serves as a reliable anti-air and a way to punish opponents who jump in or get too close, even when blocking. Close-range combat is also covered, suggesting the crouching strong kick as a key tool for pressure and offense, mentioning that a blocked attack can be turned into an advantage with a Shoryuken. The page also delves into combos, detailing powerful sequences, including finishes with the level 3 Shinku Hadoken, often starting from crouching strong punch or kick. It introduces the original combo, describing a complex but highly effective variant that typically begins with a crouching weak kick and involves chaining together hits from alternating Shoryuken and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku attacks. While demanding precise timing, mastering these combinations is presented as key to maximizing Ryu's damage output and securing victories. This page continues the basic strategy guide for Street Fighter Alpha 2, this time focusing on Ken. It immediately highlights Ken's destructive power, particularly his super combos like the Shoryu Reppa and Shinryu Ken, stating they demonstrate overwhelming strength when performed at level 3. The basic strategy section advises relentless offense while compensating for defensive weaknesses. It notes that Ken's basic moves and special moves are structurally similar to Ryu's, but differ subtly in execution time and effect. Ken is described as an offense-heavy character who excels at speedy battles combining normal and special moves, but struggles defensively and in situations where he is pressured, emphasizing the need to always take the initiative. Key moves discussed and shown include the Shoryuken, which is described as a basic tool, and Ken's strong kicks. The page also shows the Hadoken and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. There's a section titled Only Fierce Offense, emphasizing his aggressive nature. The page also details Ken's combos, suggesting jumping strong kick for initiating offense, and following up with crouching strong kick leading into a strong Shoryuken. It highlights Ken's original combo, described as easy to decide on, and involving simple inputs like weak, medium, strong attacks into Shoryuken and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, noting its simple judgment but practical use in battle. The true value of this combo lies in dealing continuous damage with the strong Shoryuken and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. This page dives into the basic strategy for Sagat in Street Fighter Alpha 2. The reviewer notes that, while the way his moves connect feels different compared to the arcade version, his core fighting style remains unchanged. Sagat's long legs are highlighted as his best weapon, and a key strategy involves effectively using his tiger shots, mixing up their strength and speed to keep opponents guessing and controlling space. It's also mentioned that players should learn to jump over projectiles, which is crucial both offensively and defensively. The page details a powerful original combo that starts after launching the opponent with a crouching strong kick, flowing into a strong tiger blow, followed by up to 5 consecutive strong tiger crushes, and finished with another strong tiger blow. The text acknowledges the difficulty of pulling off all 5 tiger crushes, and suggests adjusting the number if necessary. Screenshots illustrate Sagat's zoning tools, and the execution of this intricate combo. The next page covers the basic strategy for Chun-Li in Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Nintendo. It starts by noting that while her strong Tensho Kyaku might be slightly weaker than in the arcade version, it remains a reliable move. The core strategy involves harassing opponents from a distance using Kikoken, even employing the slow, weak version to approach safely. When close, mix up standing and crouching kicks and throws to keep pressure. Once you've cornered the opponent, unleash strong Hyakuretsu Kyaku, or the featured original combo, to deal significant damage without giving them a chance to counter. The page details a powerful original combo sequence for cornered opponents. Start with a crouching strong kick, activate the original combo, then perform Hazan Shu level 1, followed by Senretsu Kyaku level 2, and finishing with strong Hyakuretsu Kyaku. It notes that you should build charge for Senretsu Kyaku during the original combo, and link Hyakuretsukaku as soon as it ends. A diagram shows the input motion for Hazanshu within the combo. This page delves into the basic strategy for Nash in the Super Famicom version of Street Fighter Alpha 2. The magazine notes that Nash is a formidable character, particularly when played defensively, ready to counter opponent attacks. A key point highlighted for the SFC version is the necessity of properly charging Nash's special moves like the somersault kick and sonic boom, unlike some arcade versions. The strategy covers using his strong somersault kick as a primary anti-air tool. It also suggests a strong counterattack sequence, intercepting airborne opponents with a well-timed jumping medium kick, following up with a crouching weak punch upon landing, and then immediately charging for a somersault shell. The somersault shell itself is described as a highly effective anti-air move, especially the weak version against opponents attempting air guards. The page also touches on Nash's original combos, suggesting a powerful sequence involving multiple somersault shells. Mastering the timing for linking these somersault shells is presented as crucial for maximizing damage. An advanced tactic involves launching multiple somersault shells consecutively, potentially finishing with a crouching strong kick or sonic boom, which is deemed highly effective. Overall, the focus is on patient, reactive play combined with well-timed special moves and powerful combo sequences. This page provides a basic strategy guide for Rose in Street Fighter Alpha 2. It highlights that Rose is a strong character capable of effective attacks when her gauge is full. A key element is her Soul Illusion special move, which allows for rapid, damaging combo attacks after creating a duplicate image of herself. The guide explains that Rose can quickly deplete the opponent's health using continuous techniques, including Soul Spiral and Soul Reflect, which can even absorb projectiles. Building up the super combo gauge to level 3 is crucial for unleashing powerful original combos. One such combo demonstrates how Rose can create a duplicate and repeatedly use Soul Illusion to land multiple hits and drain the opponent's life bar rapidly, as illustrated by the step-by-step images showing the execution. The page also touches on tactics when spaced away from the opponent, recommending the use of her strong Soul Spark projectile. This contrasts with the close-range focus of the Soul Illusion combos. The guide visually walks through various moves like Weak Soul Spiral, Crouching Medium Punch, Crouching Weak Punch, and Jumping Medium Kick, often showing them as steps within a larger combo sequence. It also details an original combo sequence, starting with Crouching Strong Kick, leading into multiple strong Soul Spirals, followed by Standing Strong Kick and a final Aerial Soul Throw. This highlights Rose's ability to mix up ground and air attacks within her combos. This page provides a basic strategy guide for Birdie in Street Fighter Alpha 2, focusing on getting close to the opponent. It highlights his Crouching Strong Punch headbutt, noting it hits twice, and discusses its effectiveness while acknowledging its weakness against anti-air attacks. The guide emphasizes the importance of his throw specials, like Bandit Chain and Murder Chain, for damage and positioning, suggesting they are crucial elements of his game. The page questions Birdie's standing regarding throw performance compared to Zangief, wondering if his effectiveness has decreased. It recommends using Birdie's Bull Revenge special move over spending super combo gauge on Orion chain combos, suggesting Bull Revenge is more effective. Step-by-step images illustrate an Orion combo sequence involving standing medium punches, medium bullhead, and finishing with bullhorn, explaining the complex button inputs and timing required to chain these moves together effectively. The page shows Birdie in action against Nash, Sakura, and Zangief, demonstrating his various moves and setups. This page provides a basic strategy guide for Dan Hibiki in Street Fighter Alpha 2. It directly addresses his reputation as, undoubtedly, the weakest character, but notes that his endless taunts are a symbol of his unique personality, suggesting he might be best suited for expert players. The guide covers analyzing opponent openings to execute combos and capitalize on winning opportunities. It details Dan's signature moves, including his version of the Hadoken, Shoryuken, and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, known as the Godoken, Koryuken, and Dankukyaku, respectively. Screenshots illustrate these moves in action against Ryu and Sakura. The page also delves into Dan's potential with custom combos, referred to as Oricon, showing step-by-step sequences combining his special moves. It highlights specific combos starting from moves like crouching kicks and punches, leading into moves like Dankukyaku or multiple Koryuken hits. The general tone emphasizes making the most of Dan's limited strengths through clever play and combo execution. This page features Famimaga 64's ranking section, asking the reader, what popular games are selling well Information you want to know at a glance. The top section highlights the top 3 this week. Taking the number 1 spot is Super Famicom Dragon Quest II Isoshite Densetsu E, celebrated for overcoming previous concerns and achieving the maximum 400 points for the 3rd time. Mario Kart 64 holds the 2nd position, described with a metaphor about skillfully navigating challenges. Wonder Project J2 comes in at number 3, noted for its recent point growth and return to the top ranks. Below the top 3, the magazine features a featured title this week, shining a spotlight on Super Donkey Kong 3. A screenshot from the game is shown, and the commentary suggests that, like its predecessors, it's shaping up to be a challenging action game. The majority of the page is dedicated to the Reader's Request Top 30, a comprehensive list based on reader votes. This table ranks games based on reader popularity, showing their current and previous ranks, the game title, hardware, maker, and points received. It gives a clear overview of which titles are resonating most with the magazine's readership at the time. This page delves into the reader's ranking, showcasing various games and their evaluations from the magazine's readership. Featured prominently is Wave Race 64 for the N64, which secured an impressive 2nd place overall. Readers highlight the thrilling acrobatic riding and the engaging score attack mode, praising its high marks across all rating categories like control and originality. Further down the list are several Super Famicom titles. Wizardry Gaiden, First V. Throb of the Heart is noted for its commendable graphics, although some parts were found less impressive, while character and atmosphere were appreciated. Magical Drop 2 is featured, with commentary mentioning the addition of new characters and various game modes, like Versus. Monstania is described as an action RPG with unique battle system elements. Also included are Parlor Mini 3, a pachinko game, Super Nichibutsu Mahjong 4, a mahjong title with beginner-friendly options, and 2 entries from the SD Gundam Generation series for the Super Famicom Turbo, focusing on specific Gundam timelines and gameplay systems like weapon customization. The reader feedback provides insights into the reception of these diverse titles at the time. A note at the bottom clarifies the ranking is based on reader surveys collected via postcards. This page features the Famimaga 64 ranking box, presenting reader feedback and rankings for various games. Featured games include the Super Famicom puzzle title, Sailor Moon Sailor Stars Fuwa Fuwa Panic 2, where readers highlighted addiction to the puzzle mode and the catchy background music. The SFC also sees the action puzzle game Crayon Shinchan Nagagutsu Dobon, noted for its water splash effects and combat. For the Game Boy, Street Racer, a racing game where players can attack opponents, is featured with mentions of its multiple game modes. SD Hiryu no Ken Gaiden 2 is showcased as a fighting action game boasting 19 characters. There's also Sports Collection, which compiles 5 previously released sports games into one package. The Super Famicom simulation game-winning Post-2 Program 96 is included, noted as an updated version of the previous title with 96 data. The page also includes a section calling for reader opinions on games, asking for postcards to be sent in. Finally, a dedicated section for reader impressions of Wave Race 64 features comments praising the game's stunning graphics, realistic water movement, satisfying controls, and the exhilarating feeling of riding waves, with some comparing it favorably to Mario Kart. This page features the weekly sales rankings based on reader feedback for 2 consecutive weeks. The top section covers the week of October 7th to 13th, showing Pokémon for Game Boy holding the top spot with 32 points, followed by Wave Race 64 for Nintendo 64 at number 2 with 31 points. Harvest Moon for Super Famicom is 3rd, and Super Mario 64 is 4th. The text notes that while Game Boy had 2 new releases that week, neither cracked the top, and the top contenders remain largely unchanged, though Wave Race 64 dropped slightly. The bottom section presents the ranking for the week of October 14th to 20th. Pokémon for Game Boy maintains its dominance at number 1 with 33 points. However, Picross 2, a new release for Game Boy, debuts strongly at number 2 with 31 points, pushing Wave Race 64 down to 3rd place. Tetris for Game Boy lands at number 4, and Jikyu Powerful Pro Yakyu 96 Kaimakuben for Super Famicom is 5th. The text highlights Picross 2's powerful entry, challenging Pokemon, and Wave Race 64's slight dip. It also mentions Super Thoroughbred Breeder 2 is entering the charts at number 7. Screenshots on the page show gameplay from Wave Race 64, and a combination of Picross 2 and Tetris. This page features the Famimaga Journal,
bringing readers fresh information and event details. It highlights the Super Mario Collection screensaver software, available for Macintosh and Windows. Released on November 25th for 5,800 yen, this software lets users customize their computers with various Super Mario elements like icons, animated characters, clocks, and different backgrounds, showcasing many beloved characters from the series. The page includes images of the software packaging and a screen displaying character options. It also previews the screensaver itself, showing multiple Mario characters moving around. The page also previews a pachinko simulation game, showing a screen related to adjusting the machine's nails, with options like good, normal, and bad, aimed at helping players understand machine configurations. There's a mention of parlor mini-goods, showing boxes for these pachinko simulation titles. A major promotion covered is the Jean Pari Squared campaign, which ties into purchasing compatible software like Parlor Mini 2. By finding a campaign sticker and answering a quiz included in the software, participants can enter to win prizes. The campaign runs from October 25th to November 30th. Prizes include a Hawaii trip for 2 people, 20 winners, a Nintendo 64 console, 100 winners, a Tuca mobile phone, 20 winners, and an original phone card, 1,000 winners. The quiz for the campaign will be featured in the next Parlor minigame, titled Parlor Mini 4, which includes pachinko machines based on popular titles like Daiku no Gensan and Arabia. This page features arcade prize information and news about popular game characters and voice actors. Under Amusement, it showcases items available from Gacha OU arcade machines, including stamps from Super Mario World, Kiarakoro Yoshi mascots, Bakusu Kyudai Let's Go keyholders, and Super Robot Wars mascots. Images display these various collectibles, such as the Super Mario character stamps and the miniature car keychains. The topic section announces the singing debut of Shiori Fujisaki, a prominent character from the dating simulation game Tokimeki Memorial. It provides a profile for the character and mentions the release of her first single, Oshiite Mr. Sky, on December 5th. An illustration of Shiori accompanies this news. The events section promotes a 2-day joint live concert by voice actresses Mami Kingetsu and Yurika Nagasawa, known for their roles in Tokimeki Memorial. The event details are listed, scheduled for November 22nd and 23rd at Shibuya On Air East, with ticket information included. Photos of the performing artists are shown. Finally, a present section offers signed boards from Mami Kingetsu and Yurika Nagasawa as a giveaway for readers. This page presents a collection of new media releases and exciting campaigns for gamers. In the CD, video, and book section, you'll find drama crids for popular series like Twinbee Paradise 3 and Tokimeki Memorial, videos featuring anime titles such as Kaitu Saint Tail and Doraemon, plus guidebooks for strategy RPG Angelique and the simulation game-winning post. On the snack front, Ganbare Goemon is getting its own chocolate and candy treats, each coming with fun character mascots or keyholders. These are available nationwide. Speaking of Goemon, you can enter a giveaway right here in the magazine to win some of those Ganbare Goemon mascots. There's also a cool campaign running with the Yoshinoya Beef Bowl chain, where collecting stickers from your meals gives you a chance to win prizes like a Game Boy Pocket, a digital camera, or an LCD monitor. And if beef bowls are your thing, you can also enter a giveaway for Yoshinoya meal tickets through the magazine. Entry for the giveaways is via postcard, with a deadline of November 14th. This page features a reader survey and a giveaway campaign. Famimaga 64 is giving away a total of 60 prizes, with 30 copies each of Wonder Project J2 for Nintendo 64 and Donkey Kong Country 3 for Super Famicom. The survey asks readers about their age, gender, school/job, game purchasing habits, reading preferences within the magazine, desired game articles, consoles they own or want, games they plan to buy or want guides for, and their criteria for evaluating games like graphics, sound, and controls. To enter the giveaway, readers must fill out the survey on a postcard found on page 75, attach a 50 yen stamp, and mail it by November 14th. The page also includes examples of how to correctly fill in numerical answers and list the winners of previous reader presents by prefecture and name. This page provides the detailed options for the Famimaga 64 Reader Survey. It features extensive lists of games presented in Table 1, categorized by console, Nintendo 64, Super Famicom, Game Boy, and Virtual Boy. These lists cover a wide variety of genres available on each platform during that period, from racing and sports on 64
to various RPGs and action games across the other systems. Beyond the game selections, the page includes additional tables. Table 2 lists the articles included in this specific magazine issue. Table 3 lists various gaming magazines. And Table 4 lists a wide range of video game hardware systems from across the industry, including Nintendo, Sony, Sega, and others. These lists form the backbone of the survey, allowing readers to specify their interests in games, articles, other publications, and the hardware they own or desire, providing valuable data for the magazine. This page is purely functional, acting as the survey response key. This page is a report on upcoming 64 software, proudly stating that the console will no longer be criticized for a lack of games. It highlights a new title from Imagineer, Super Space Niter Pro Baseball King. This polygonal baseball game, scheduled for a December release at 9,980 yen, supports up to 4 players simultaneously and requires the controller pack. A major draw is the full polygon graphics featuring charming 2-head-tall player characters with expressive faces and smooth animations, seen in sequence shots of pitching forms. The game promises dynamic camera work and exciting presentations, particularly for big plays like grand slams. Screenshots reveal detailed stadium environments with effective night lighting, different perspectives from ground level to high above, and even humorous animations, like a batter reacting dramatically to a dead ball. This title is officially licensed by the Japan Baseball Organization and all 12 professional teams, ensuring authenticity. This page continues the detailed look at the polygonal baseball game, focusing on its control scheme and gameplay modes. It highlights the use of the 3D stick for both pitching and batting, allowing for subtle control over pitch trajectory and batting position. Pitching involves selecting a pitch type and using the 3D stick to control the break, with a green cursor showing the ball's path. Batting relies on timing, indicated by a cursor changing from yellow to red, and the 3D stick is used to position the bat and swing. The article details several exciting modes, including the Open Match mode, supporting up to 4 players simultaneously for competitive or cooperative play. Independent Race mode lets you manage and play through a baseball season, aiming to be the best in Japan, with options for season length. There's also a robust training mode, where you can develop original characters or train existing players in various aspects, like pitching, hitting, and fielding. The Edit mode allows for character creation, customizing appearance, uniform numbers, and player names. The report emphasizes the unique control method and the depth offered by the different modes, making it seem like a comprehensive and enjoyable baseball experience. This page previews several upcoming games for the N64. At the top, we see Multi-Racing Championship, a rally-style racer featuring branching courses that influence gameplay strategy, a championship mode, and a detailed on-screen display showing lap times, vehicle speed, gear, and a course map. The screenshot shows off the 3D environments and cars. In the middle section, there's a preview of Mahou Seiki Ner, a tentative title for a full-fledged RPG set in a medieval European fantasy world. The game features spirits and centers around 3 young girls, with promises of detailed graphics, even in this early development screenshot, showing pixelated characters and scenery. Finally, the bottom introduces 3 more games. Reason, tentative, is described as a unique mystery board game that leverages the N64's hardware for processing and memory, featuring changing scenarios and characters with distinct personalities. SimCity 2000, tentative, is a simulation game, a port of the classic city-building title, familiar to players from other platforms. The text mentions it will be a friendly adaptation. The last game is a tentative 3D fighting game, highlighting the use of the N64's analog stick for nuanced attacks, offering a different feel to standard fighting games. This page is dominated by the highly anticipated Mario Kart 64. It's confirmed for a December 14th release at 9,800 yen and comes on a large 96 megabit cartridge, supporting up to 4 players simultaneously and the controller pack. The excitement is palpable, especially as it's being released as a Christmas present bundle that includes a special colored controller for the same price. This bundle is a major highlight, offering immediate multiplayer fun right out of the box. The page features a large, vibrant screenshot of the game, showing characters like Mario, Wario, Bowser, and Princess Peach racing, alongside a detailed shot of the N64 controller itself. Beyond Mario Kart 64, the page gives a peek at other upcoming 64 titles from Nintendo. We see Blast Corps, called Blast Dozer here, planned for March 97, Star Fox 64, called Star Fox 64 here, slated for April 97, and a tentative title Kirby's Air Ride, with a note that its release is still a ways off, shown with early screenshots. There's also a mention of a possible change in release timing for some games. The page mentions a Star Wars Shadows of the Empire game coming soon, hinting at an earlier than expected release. The overall feel is a look forward to the exciting lineup of games coming to the N64. This page dives into Chameleon Twist, an upcoming action game from Japan System Supply, set for a November 1997 release at 9,800 yen, supporting up to 4 players. The focus here is on the game's defining mechanic, the chameleon's versatile tongue. Developers Hideyuki Nakanishi and Makoto Tanaka discuss how they designed the tongue action, controlled intuitively with the 3D stick. The tongue isn't just for grabbing enemies. It can be used to swing, traverse gaps, and even create a barrier, as shown in illustrations. They explain the development process involved in making the tongue feel responsive and fun, noting that while the tongue is extended, the chameleon is rooted in place, requiring strategic use. Screenshots show the chameleon facing off against enemies known as Baterfly, demonstrating the action elements of the game. This page features a report from the developer Japan System Supply, offering insights into some of their upcoming projects and their perspective on the Nintendo 64 hardware. One segment highlights a game called Cavalry Battle 3000, described as a racing game where players control unique creatures called cavalry, resembling two-wheeled vehicles with engines. The developer notes that the controls are quite challenging. An image shows one of these unusual vehicles alongside a character. Developers also discuss the multiplayer mode, confirming plans for 4-person simultaneous play, and explaining the challenges and considerations involved in camera positioning and screen composition for multiple players. From a technical standpoint, the developers share why they chose the N64, emphasizing its graphical processing capabilities and the versatility of the 3D stick as key features that align with their game design goals. They briefly compare N64 development to that on the PlayStation and Saturn. An interesting project mentioned is Life Stream, described as a communication-based online RPG utilizing the internet. Players will control characters and explore a virtual world, as depicted in a screenshot showing an overhead isometric view of a party navigating a dungeon-like area. Regarding overall project status, development is stated to be around 60% complete, with the core game logic largely finished but significant debugging and fine-tuning still required. Completion for at least one major title is anticipated around summer of the following year. This page is dedicated to Dual Heroes, Hudson Soft's first 3D fighting game for the Nintendo 64. The game introduces a unique virtual gamer system. The page focuses on the game's 2 main characters, Gaia, a red hero who is a former space pilot skilled in martial arts, and Zen, a blue hero who is a former mercenary. The characters are designed by the renowned Keita Amemiya, known for his work on tokusatsu series like Zeiram and Kamen Rider. Screenshots showcase the heroes in action, highlighting their distinct fighting styles. Gaia utilizes powerful punches and kicks, while Zen relies on dynamic, balletic moves and kicks. The page emphasizes the vibrant character designs and the promise of intense battles between these superpowered warriors. This page continues to showcase Hudson Soft's 3D fighting game, Dual Heroes. It focuses on the game's movement and fighting mechanics, analyzing character actions like crouching dashes and back rolls through a series of action screenshots. The arenas, or fields of battle, are also featured, suggesting players will have the freedom to move in full 3D space. A notable update is given on the game's progress, stating development is at 33%. The unique virtual gamer system, mentioned previously, is further detailed. These are defined not simply as selectable fighters, but as intelligent AI opponents, possessing distinct personalities and fighting styles, with 8 different virtual gamers set to challenge players within the game. This page delves into the structure and gameplay of Turok, Dinosaur Hunter for the N64. It highlights the discovery of gates that divide the vast, lost land into distinct areas, suggesting players will explore diverse environments, from primitive jungle settings shown in the screenshots to potentially modern ones. The article emphasizes strategic combat, stating that simply fighting enemies head-on isn't enough. Players must utilize the environment and potentially master aerial tactics. Underwater sections are also featured, hinting at the need for special equipment to survive and explore below the surface. A key aspect discussed is the game's extensive arsenal. With over 10 types of powerful weapons like bows and pistols, players will need to strategically select their gear based on the enemies and situations they encounter. These weapons are primarily found in armories scattered throughout the levels, adding another layer to the exploration. The screenshots showcase the varied locations, combat, and the imposing gates players will encounter. This page dives into a preview of a Doraemon game for the N64, currently titled Provisional. The focus is on a new underwater stage, highlighting that it's filled with many fish. The article mentions that players gain access to this stage after obtaining a secret gadget from a boss on a previous stage. Thanks to these secret gadgets, players won't need to hold their breath underwater. The underwater exploration sounds varied, with complex terrain, including caves and potential secret passages. While everyone else might swim at the same speed, Nobita's swimming ability depends on the gadget he's using. The game features co-op play, where players must strategically use different secret gadgets together, as each character's abilities can vary. Screenshots show Nobita swimming underwater, interacting with a friendly sunfish and a jellyfish. Another image shows Shizuka potentially encountering an anemone. The text notes that the fish in the sea stage are mostly underlings of the Demon King, and some friendly ones like the sunfish seem pitiful to attack. The game promises more secrets and bosses within the ocean depths. Release date and price are currently undecided. This page covers 64 news from America, highlighting Famimaga 64's exclusive access to information from the U.S. magazine Nintendo Power. It reports on the swift 64 launch in America, noting that the console sold out within just 3 days due to high demand, and even featured promotional photos of Mario helping with shipments. The magazine also features an interview with Shigeru Miyamoto that was published in Nintendo Power, emphasizing Famimaga 64's special connection to get this content. Additionally, Nintendo Power covered 3 highly popular American sports games. The main game preview for this issue is Rare's action puzzle game, Blast Corps, showcasing new screenshots for the first time. Screenshots on the page include images related to the N64 launch events, Shigeru Miyamoto, and a confident-looking Mario from Super Mario 64 giving a peace sign, suggesting a bright future for the console. This page continues the coverage of American Nintendo 64 titles, focusing on upcoming sports games in the topics section. First up is NBA Hangtime, based on the popular arcade game, promising 4-player action and impressive dunk shots. The graphics showcase recognizable players and dynamic aerial plays. Next, the highly anticipated hockey game, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey by Williams, is highlighted. It features detailed graphics and licensed players, with the possibility of real player photos incorporated into the character models, making the game feel incredibly authentic. Finally, the page provides an update on Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr., showing development progress including a wireframe model of the stadium and a photo of the development team. The focus is on accurately recreating real stadiums and player likenesses, suggesting a realistic baseball simulation is in the works, starring Ken Griffey Jr. himself. This page features a preview of the Nintendo 64 title Blast Corps, known in Japan as Blast Dozer. The premise is centered around preventing nuclear winter and saving Earth. The Japanese release is scheduled for April 97. The article highlights that the game features not just bulldozers, but various types of vehicles, and the gameplay is more complex than it initially appears. Screenshots and text detail the core mission, rendering runaway nuclear weapons harmless by protecting their transport vehicle. This involves clearing the path for the vehicle by destroying buildings and other obstacles, which also incorporates puzzle-solving elements. The graphics, especially explosions, are noted as impressive. Other highlighted gameplay includes rescuing scientists as a mission objective, and bonus stages triggered by finding parabolic antennas. These bonus stages serve as opportunities to practice vehicle handling, with potential rewards given based on player performance. The preview suggests a challenging game with varied objectives and exciting destruction mechanics. Nintendo/Rare. This page continues the preview for Blast Corps on Nintendo 64, focusing on the game's extensive vehicle roster. It emphasizes that players must select the most suitable vehicle for each situation, as they are crucial for tackling the game's challenges. The preview categorizes vehicles into types like weapon-equipped, dozer, special, and walker types, each with different strengths and weaknesses in terms of handling, speed, and destruction power. Specific vehicles highlighted include the easy-to-handle Ram Dozer, the aerial Skyfall, the powerful but tricky Backlash, and weaponized types like the Missile Bike. Special vehicles are shown for unique tasks, such as a train for high-speed travel on tracks, a barge acting as a bridge, and a crane for moving obstacles. The walker type, including the J-Bomb, Cyclone Suit, and Thunder Fist, is presented as the most advanced, offering high speed and power, particularly when equipped with weapons, though handling can be difficult. This page is a strategy guide for the Super Famicom adventure game, Walrus, Another Treasure Island. It offers key point strategies to help players navigate through the game up to Chapter 2, including tips for overcoming difficult areas and a list of all items found by that point. The guide emphasizes important techniques like the significance of switching between playable characters and effective uses for the fishing rod, such as hitting objects or attracting fish. It also suggests hitting walls and trees can reveal hidden items, and highlights minigames as a good way to earn the collectible rack rocks. Screenshots show gameplay from various locations, including town, forest, and fishing on water, illustrating some of the techniques discussed. The main artwork features the game's protagonist, characters resembling pirates, and a monkey, hinting at the treasure hunting theme. This page is a strategy guide for the Super Famicom game, Walrus, Another Treasure Island, focusing on clearing the events of Chapter 1. It features a scenario progress chart outlining the key objectives, such as gathering firewood, meeting the character Winky, obtaining a ball, and solving various puzzles and obstacles, leading up to finding a crystal and opening a large door at the end of the chapter. The guide provides detailed tips for specific challenges, presented as numbered checkpoints. These include how to effectively catch mice, decipher a code manual found on a ship, manipulate a lever by understanding its numerical system, and use a specific item called the Rix box to reach high places. It also covers finding a key hidden by fishing in a pond, dealing with a fake monkey character named Winky by throwing a ball, navigating a minecart area by using a party member's item and throwing a ball at enemies, and finally, how to find the key to open the large door at the end of the chapter. Screenshots illustrate these various points, showing gameplay scenes of the protagonist interacting with environments, puzzles, and characters. The guide highlights key actions like strategic character placement for tasks and the importance of persistent fishing. The tone is helpful, breaking down complex steps and providing clear visual cues with the screenshots. This page continues the strategy guide for Walrus, Another Treasure Island, focusing on Chapter 2, Pirate Benson. This chapter takes place on an island and involves using the blue crystal to travel to the past. The main goal is to rescue children. The guide details how to navigate the Valley of Death, providing strategies for defeating enemies like scorpions by hitting them with a ball twice. It also covers how to defeat plant enemies by hitting their weak point. Puzzle solving is crucial, including interacting with characters like the police chief to get information. A significant puzzle involves deciphering a secret code related to a photograph featuring Captain Benson, Indio, Dion, and the blue crystal. The guide explains the mystery of the time room, which contains multiple clocks. Players must manipulate the clock hands based on a code, shown with examples like 30 and +30 adjustments, to activate the time travel mechanism. Correctly setting the clocks allows the player to journey into the past or return to the present. The page emphasizes paying close attention to these clock puzzles. Screenshots throughout the page illustrate combat, character interactions, and the clock puzzle interface. This page continues the strategy guide for Walrus, Another Treasure Island, focusing on tasks needed to help Indio and solve the village's water shortage. It explains how to visit the sheriff's office to check on Indio's situation and the critical step of finding water veins in various locations. This involves getting help from penguins. Specifically, a heartbroken penguin needs assistance in finding a mate before they will help you search for water veins by leaving footprints. The guide also covers how to deal with a cow blocking the path, obtaining the digging machine needed for excavation, and the unique method required to catch a frog, which is key to distracting the sheriff. Finally, it introduces the mystery of a house with no entrance, requiring players to choose the correct one from a diagram to uncover its secret and advance the story. This page continues the strategy guide for Walrus, Another Treasure Island, detailing progression through Manmart's hideout and beyond. It shows how to breach the hideout entrance using dynamite, noting multiple blasts are needed. Inside, you'll encounter mechanisms like stairs activated by switches, which require specific character abilities like Max's soccer ball to trigger. Navigation is guided by following Benson's smoke signals, using binoculars, and paying attention to changing numbers to avoid getting lost. The guide also covers combat scenarios, like using a cannon with precise timing to defend against enemies and assist Benson, often requiring Dion's ball attack. A key challenge is defeating the Manmart Three Brothers, which involves a specific strategy focusing on their leader to create openings. Finally, after overcoming these obstacles and assisting Benson, you return to the present day, obtain the second crucial blue crystal, and prepare to set sail for the next island, becoming heroes in the process. This page provides a detailed item list for Walrus, another treasure island, showing what items are available, where to find them, their effects, and which characters can hold them. The list includes various useful items like the Luigi doll, a humorous nod, controllers, strange gems, a transceiver, keys, tools like a hammer, and adventure gear like diving goggles and jump boots. The page also features several screenshots highlighting specific moments and mechanics. One screenshot shows a Pumpkinhead item turning into a Luigi doll with a Nintendo mark, referencing the classic character. Others illustrate the importance of collecting stamps, noting that the timing of pressing them is crucial, and showing characters interacting with NPCs and exploring locations like a ship's deck and control room, hinting at the journey to Camp Island. A prominent section discusses the Satellaview version titled BS Marvelous, explaining it serves as a prologue to the SFC game, detailing Dion's story before reaching Camp Island. It mentions that the BS version's 4th episode covers events inside the ship heading to the SFC game setting, and that the two versions are subtly linked, enhancing the experience if both are played. A character portrait shows Jill, one of the game's protagonists. This page is dedicated to revealing the secrets and advanced techniques of Wave Race 64. It highlights two hidden modes that add exciting new layers to the game. First is the Dolphin mode, which allows players to literally ride a dolphin through the courses. This isn't just cosmetic. The dolphin offers unique control and movement, making for a completely different racing experience. The page shows a screenshot of the player character riding a dolphin, emphasizing this unusual mode. The second major reveal is the Reverse class, presented as a super advanced challenge unlocked after clearing other difficulty levels. This class takes the existing courses and flips them, forcing players to navigate them in reverse, adding a significant challenge even for veteran players. A screenshot shows the class selection menu with reverse visible. The page also touches on advanced techniques, mentioning twists and turns require careful left and right rotation control, a detail often overlooked. It includes screenshots showing gameplay moments, a machine selection screen with rider stats, and a point ranking list for the reverse class, demonstrating the high scores achievable in this mode. Finally, a small section offers a mini lesson on techniques, featuring a character giving tips on mastering the game, particularly concerning dolphin control. This page dives into the secrets of Wizardry Gaiden IV, Throb of the Demon's Heart on the Super Famicom, revealing how to acquire the game's crucial divine artifacts. The core mechanic involves obtaining an artifact in the dungeon, then safely returning to town, which rewards the party with 10,000 gold. This process can be repeated for each of the 3 unique artifacts. A notable exploit or feature highlighted is the ability to reobtain certain artifacts, such as the Hawaii no Ken and the Shisha no Sho, even after you've already brought them back to town. This allows for repeated gold farming or accumulating multiple copies of these special items. Acquiring the Shisha no Sho has specific conditions. Your party must consist of 5 or fewer members. Successfully obtaining it triggers a forced teleport to a designated spot on floor 3B of the dungeon. From there, a character capable of casting the Metaphor spell is essential for a successful escape, a maneuver dubbed The Great Escape! The page includes screenshots depicting artifacts, the party's stats, the map layout of floor 3B, and the congratulatory message received upon returning to town with an artifact. This page reveals secrets and tips for several Super Famicom games. It highlights character unlocks and boss encounters in Magical Drop 2, showing how to select hidden characters like the Empress, and eventually face bosses like the Fool and Black Pierrot. There's also a message board section featuring reader feedback on games like Magical Drop 2, Star Ocean, and Harvest Moon, with comments on graphics, difficulty, and unique features. Another section focuses on a new operational method in the Super Famicom version of Magical Drop 2, explaining how players can access an options menu directly from the title screen by holding down RL and R and pressing select. This menu allows for custom control configuration, offering more personalized gameplay. Finally, the page covers a secret feature in Harvest Moon, the ability to trigger an anytime ending. By going to sleep at certain points, players can view an ending sequence and check their farm master level, providing a way to gauge progress outside of the game's natural conclusion. This page presents Super Ultra techniques, offering secrets and tips for several Super Famicom titles. First, it covers a soundcheck mode for a pachinko game, Parlors. Mini 3 Hokkaido/Ore-kun. It explains how to access this mode from a specific screen by holding L and R while pressing select. Once there, players can use the directional buttons to select background music and sound effects and press a play them. Next is the ending password for the game, likely titled Bishujo Senshi Sailor Moon R. Fua Fua Panic. The page reveals the password, Sira Aswata Asu. Inputting this password in either story mode or puzzle mode will instantly allow players to view the game's ending. Finally, a section details the steps required to obtain the Ansatsuken, assassination sword, in Wizardry Gaiden IV, Taima no Kodu. It instructs players to first acquire 3 specific Okimono items found on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and 1st basement floor of the tower. After obtaining these items, players must meet a character named Shugen. The process involves a challenging iron gate puzzle within the tower. This guide provides specific locations using map coordinates, like northeast, for the items and mentions repeating certain steps if necessary to successfully acquire the powerful weapon. The page also notes that questions about these techniques can be directed to a specific phone number on weekdays. This page features tips and information from everyone's message board. It highlights JIKU Power Pro Wrestling 96, showcasing screenshots of the wrestling action and character profiles. Tips include pressing a button before the gong rings for an advantage, and details on how a legendary wrestler appears after clearing the story mode in 5 years or less. Clearing the mode makes Max Mercury the strongest character, available in Versus mode. Also covered is winning Post 2 Program 96, a horse racing simulation. Screenshots display various menus and horse data. Techniques are shared, such as pressing S-Dial, and select simultaneously to view the list of acquired major races. The game also allows sorting horse lists alphabetically by pressing select, or by age by pressing start. This page offers some great tips and tricks, starting with techniques for a fishing game referred to as Sea of Silver. It seems focused on winning the Shirogisu tournament to earn money, showing a leaderboard and gameplay screenshots depicting fishing and player stats like stamina and money. Next up, there's a cool secret found in the Table Game Great Collection. If you press select and the B button 50 times at the title screen, you can unlock a hidden 15 puzzle game. It's a neat bonus for those who dive deep into the game's menus. Finally, there's a trick for Bishujo Senshi Sailor Moon Sailor Stars Fua Fua Panic 2 on Super Famicom. To unlock Chibi Moon for use in the battle mode against 8 opponents, you need to enter a specific button code at the title screen. Y, X, A, B, L, and R, in that exact order. Chibi Moon even has a unique special move to mess with your opponent's balloons, adding the strategic edge. This page is a collection of user-submitted tips and tricks for various games under the heading Everyone's Cheat Message Board for Super Mario 64 on Nintendo 64. There are several secrets highlighted. One tip reveals how to hear voices near a specific painting inside Princess Peach's castle, describing it as somewhat creepy. Another shows a glitch allowing players to get behind the mountain in the bomb battlefield level, using a precise wide jump on a slope. There's also a tip about reaching the castle roof using a cannon, and encountering a strange mirror glitch where Mario loses his hat. Finally, a shortcut for the cool mountain level, referred to as Mountain Slider, is shown, allowing players to quickly get the 3rd blue coin. Moving to Super Famicom, a tip for Toy Story explains how to access a hidden minigame from the level 1 title screen by interacting with a specific star icon. For the fishing game Umi no Nushitsuri, a user points out that sometimes you can catch crabs instead of the intended fish. Lastly, a tip for the mahjong game Taizen Mahjong Tsutsu shows how to scroll the screen by holding the D-pad when an opponent declares Richi. This page presents Super Ultra Tech, featuring user-submitted gameplay tips for Super Famicom titles. For Star Ocean, tips include details on character stats, explaining that while HP usually maxes at 9,999, it can exceed 10,000 when equipping a specific item like the Lunar Talisman. Another tip reveals the location of a hidden treasure chest near a cave entrance in the Van Kingdom. For Daikaiju Monogatari 2, players can find an excellent spot on the float continent for quickly accumulating money and experience points. And there's a tip about receiving a special weapon called the Robot Person's Arm as a gift from a robot. The magazine is also seeking more super ultra text submissions, offering prizes such as cash, game items, and book vouchers for accepted tips. Submissions can be sent via postcard or a 24-hour fax line, with a note reminding readers to verify the phone number due to wrong calls. The page also mentions that submitted tips may appear in various places in the magazine, sometimes hidden within images or messages. This page highlights the Satellaview station service, focusing on content available via data broadcast. It prominently features Yoshi's Pain-a-Pon, known internationally as Tetris Attack. The article describes it as a simple puzzle game with action elements, where players swap adjacent panels to line up 3 or more of the same kind to clear them. Screenshots show the colorful panel swapping gameplay and Yoshi characters cheering. The piece emphasizes that it's enjoyable for beginners and experienced players alike, and can be downloaded via data broadcast with no usage limits. The page also includes the broadcast schedule for early November, listing various programs available on Satellaview. A section on highlights of this data broadcast focuses on Ihatovo Monogatari, an adventure game with RPG elements based on the works of Kenji Miyazawa. Screenshots show the protagonist in exploration and dialogue scenes. The goal involves the protagonist, inspired by Kenji Miyazawa, searching for 7 mysterious notebooks in the world of Ihatovo. The article notes that you simply move the cursor on the map to travel. This page features the Famimaga 64 RGB Maniac Reader Submission section. The main visual theme for the fan art this issue is Festival, showcasing various game characters enjoying summer Matsuri or Halloween events. You can see characters from Final Fantasy VI like Ellen and Orthros, Mother characters, and Dragon Quest heroes enjoying festival food and activities. Readers share brief comments on their artwork and the featured characters, expressing enjoyment for the festive theme and specific character portrayals. Additionally, there is a section titled Listen to My Song, where readers discuss their favorite game music. Submissions highlight the impact of music in games, with mentions of memorable tracks from Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy V's opening, and the battle/save themes from Final Fantasy IV. Readers also praise arranged creds, like those for Fire Emblems, noting how emotional and well-produced they are, adding a layer of depth beyond the original game soundtracks. The comments reflect a strong appreciation for how game music enhances the gaming experience, whether it's the dramatic score of an RPG or the catchy tunes of other genres. This page showcases the Maniac Gallery, a section featuring reader-submitted fan art and commentary. The top artwork includes characters from Star Ocean like Letty and Millie, noted for their intertwined tales, and Reese from Trials of Mana, with a reader wondering about her popularity. The Masterpiece section highlights several impressive drawings. A poignant portrayal of Welch Vineyard from Star Ocean, Akuma from Street Fighter depicted as the Master of the Fist, and Zephiel from Fire Emblem. The A Favorite Game column features readers sharing their thoughts on beloved titles. One submission describes a surprisingly engaging game, where the player defeats monsters barehanded with smooth animation and satisfying action. Another reader praises a game with comical character reactions, highlighting moves like the sliding kick. There's also discussion of the NES horror action game Nosferatu, where the main character is noted for being quite weak. The page also features a funny romancing saga 3 comic strip parodying the Cinderella story, with readers commenting on how well the game's characters fit the roles. Additional fan art includes characters resembling those from Star Ocean, the second story, praised for their expressions and appearances. The page is a vibrant collection of reader passion for various classic and contemporary games. This page continues the Maniac Garden, showcasing reader-submitted fan art and commentary. The top row features illustrations including Dragon Quest VI characters, alongside a reader noting the loss of their save data and reaching level 39. There's also a rural scene featuring a character named Cirrus described as a village girl, a spooky character with pumpkins, and Chrono Trigger's Luca and Robo, with a reader questioning why Rabite is purple. Treasure Hunter Shdeeg is depicted in 2 illustrations, one showing a cooking scene noted as difficult, and another asking who is trying to take the ring. The second row of art includes Sakura from Street Fighter Alpha, a group shot from Chrono Trigger, characters from Star Ocean, and a colorful group from a Nintendo game, where a reader comments on the flashy character designs. The page also features reader comments discussing the evolution of the Maniac Garden, the challenges of buying multiple games, the content of game commercials, and an observation about the increasing number of male contributors compared to female ones in the submission corner. Finally, there is a section providing the address for readers to send in their postcards and submissions.
This page features a super new game scoop strategy, highlighting the upcoming Game Boy title, Donkey Kong Land. The focus is on Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, who are starring in this adventure to rescue Donkey Kong from Captain K. Rool and the Kremlings. The screenshots showcase various levels, including a pirate ship, hinting at diverse environments and challenges. It confirms the game is an action title for the Game Boy, supporting 13 colors, adding a vibrant look to the classic platforming gameplay. The page includes captions describing gameplay elements like map screens, unique character abilities such as Dixie's spin, and the presence of traps in underwater sections. An index on the right side lists other games covered in the magazine. This page features a super new game scoop strategy, highlighting 2 upcoming titles. First up is Kuanpa, a puzzle game hitting both Super Famicom and Nintendo 64. Players manipulate a cube to match the color of the panel beneath it, aiming to clear stages. The Super Famicom version, set for release by T&E Soft on December 20th, offers 3 game modes: a beginner-friendly easy, a standard normal where panels are cleared easily, and a challenging puzzle mode requiring careful planning. The game features colorful stages with increasing difficulty, and cleared levels can be replayed, which is a welcome feature. Also previewed is 1900 English Word Target, part of the Passboy series for Game Boy, developed by Imagineer, and releasing on December 13th. This educational game focuses on learning English vocabulary, offering 2 main modes: memorization and test. The test mode challenges players with random words to gauge their true ability. The content is divided into fine sections, allowing players to target specific areas and thoroughly cover potential weaknesses, making it a practical tool for studying. This page features previews of 2 upcoming Game Boy puzzle games. First up is Puyo Puyo 2, bringing the popular falling block puzzle action to the portable system. Players match groups of 4 or more matching colored Puyo to make them disappear, aiming to unleash chain reactions and send Ojama Puyo, nuisance Puyo, to their opponent's screen. This version includes a beginner mode and battles against various characters from the series. A major highlight is the support for 4-player battles, using the Game Link cable, allowing multiple friends to compete simultaneously. Screenshots show the familiar Puyo Puyo gameplay grid and character portraits. Also featured is Snoopy's First Errand, a puzzle game starring the beloved Peanuts characters. In this title, players must guide Snoopy to complete errands given by Charlie Brown. The gameplay involves strategically placing directional arrow panels on a grid-based map to direct Snoopy's movement towards his goal. Screenshots illustrate the isometric grid, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the arrow panels used for navigation. The game also features items on the map, such as bones and bowls, suggesting objectives or collectibles, adding layers to the puzzle challenge. This page, part of the super new homing section highlighting popular upcoming software, features previews of 2 action games. First up is Pinocchio for the Super Famicom, based on the classic Disney story. This action game challenges players to guide Pinocchio safely to school, navigating stages filled with various temptations and obstacles. Key to progress are medals, which are important items representing Pinocchio's developing heart, such as the red medal signifying an honest heart, required to advance. Screenshots show Pinocchio platforming through colorful town environments. Next is Chorubo 55 for the Game Boy, another action title. The goal in this game is to collect 5 crystals scattered throughout each stage to open the exit door. Players must utilize stage gimmicks and manipulate blocks, while facing boss characters waiting at the exit. Items like the star grant temporary invincibility, while touching a black hole renders the main character Chorubo temporarily unable to fight. Screenshots show Chorubo in a grid-based environment with blocks and crystals. This page presents a comprehensive calendar of upcoming game releases for the Super Famicom, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy consoles. It lists titles with their tentative release dates, publishers, and prices, offering a quick overview of the next wave of software hitting the market. This page features a charming comic strip starring the magazine's penguin mascot, UTCHI, highlighting simple moments. The main content is a preview for the next issue, focusing on the highly anticipated Nintendo 64 Space World 96 event, promising in-depth coverage of major titles like Mario Kart 64 and J2, alongside secret development news crucial for N64 fans. There are also calendar sections providing early release information for Super Famicom, Game Boy, including Super Game Boy titles indicated by 13, and Virtual Boy games, listing tentative dates and prices. A section also lists upcoming re-releases for various platforms.
The page includes a brief guide on how to read the calendar data. Finally, there's a promotion where readers could win Nintendo 64 consoles and games by collecting seals from Famisoda products. This page is a Konami advertisement promoting upcoming Nintendo 64 software releases. Featured games include J.League Perfect Striker, a soccer game releasing December 20th, Mahjong Master also releasing in December, and the next Ganbare Goemon title, Ganbare Goemon 5. Neo Momoyama Bakufu no Odori, listed as coming soon. The ad declares this winter will be hot for 64 players. This page is a full-page Konami advertisement for Jikyu Powerful Pro Yakyu 4 on Nintendo 64. This baseball sim, the third installment, is scheduled for release in early 1997, with the price yet to be determined. This page is a full-page feature promoting the Super Famicom game, Marvelous, Another Treasure Island. Described as Nintendo's first full-fledged action-adventure game for the system, the page centers around a large illustration of the main characters against a backdrop of a mysterious floating island. The theme is highlighted by vertical text addressed to the adults who were boys and to the boys who will become adults. The game's premise involves boys who visit the treasure island of legendary pirate Maverick, getting caught up in a mystery surrounding hidden treasure. A key feature, the search system, is detailed, allowing players to thoroughly investigate suspicious areas within the game world, as shown in a screenshot featuring the system interface and a frog character. Technical aspects like the same one chip and battery backup are also noted. The page announces the game's release date as October 26th at a price of 6,800 yen.